So, let's see if these holy whores live up to their names and pressure the priests with their poor mechanics and bulldozing bubbles that almost make me want to cry. With the supposed healing rotation less complex than an arcane mage, Holy Paladins seem to have a very low skill cap right now. Now, what I'm going to be talking to you about today is how to keep your mana topped off as a Holy Paladin. So no matter what Deathwing tries to throw at you, you've always got the mana to be able to heal through it. Now, I'm going to be showing you some fights that I've solo healed. So, you know, when I'm solo healing, I've got no backup. If people die, it's on me. Bear in mind that these recordings aren't set up. This is literally a raid I just did earlier. We decided to blast through it on normal because we only had one healer for the raid, so I had solo heal it. About all I can do is when I'm healing on my own is call out for the odd tranquility or a divine hymn, but you know, obviously because they're from DPS specs, they're only going to be doing about 200k-ish healing, so we've really got to be careful about keeping everybody topped up. We can't sit round and regen some mana while people are getting lower, because if we let everyone get lower, then obviously we've got to push them all the way back up again on our own. Now, if you play a Holy Paladin, as you'll probably know, our spells cost an awful lot. Our Holy Radiance costs 9.4k mana, whereas a Priest Prayer of Healing equivalent costs about 5.5. A Divine Light costs 8.2, where again, a Priest's equivalent costs about 5.5, so our spells do cost a lot more, and even our small little Holy Light costs us 2.8k mana. Now obviously the first way of keeping your mana topped off is to be blowing your mana cooldowns during phases that do not need healing. As you can see here, during jumping between the platforms, I've used my Arcane Torrent, my Divine Plea, and then I'll go on to use my Potion of Concentration. Using these while there's no healing to be done means I'm not falling behind on any healing whatsoever. And as you saw in the clip just there, I regen from about 40k to about 110k mana, and bear in mind that that clip was slowed down, so my actual regen speed was slightly faster than that. So, how on earth are we supposed to be able to keep spamming these all the way through a fight, keeping everyone up? Now when you're solo healing, it's vital you're on your toes, because you don't want to be having to spam Divine Light and Holy Radiance all the time. You want to be making the most of your Holy Shock, Word of Glory, Light of Dawn and Holy Light. We've got to be pre-casting these spells when damage is going to be taken, because if we're waiting for people to drop down before healing them, then we'll end up using our bigger, more mana intensive spells, and we may even have to resort to using Flash of Light, which will run us out of mana extremely fast. Now the first step to keeping your mana high as a Holy Paladin is stacking Spirit. At the moment on my Holy Paladin, I have about 4.2k Spirit with my Heart of Unliving trinket stacked up, which is all the time during a raid. Sometimes, for fights such as Ultraxion Heroic, when I'm solo healing that, if I'm having any trouble with my mana, I may remove my 300 intellect flask and put a 300 spirit one on instead. Yes, sacrificing some intellect for spirit does lower the amount of healing you do per spell, however sometimes that bit of extra spirit can be vital. Now obviously the core of a Holy Paladin's regen at the moment is just their combat regen. You must make sure you judge every minute. If you want, you can set your power auras up like mine. If you don't have the add-on power auras, just download it off curse.com and you can set it up just like mine to show when you've got your judgment buff on. Also we have Aura Mastery on a very low cooldown. This can prevent pretty much all magic damage done to us by about 25% for 6 seconds. This is on a 2-minute cooldown. So when solo healing things such as Spine of Deathwing, you can use it every time you get a big add to 9 stacks. You can use it every time the bolt hits, and it really does help with an awful lot of damage reduction. Another major factor of solo healing obviously is cooldown management, and also placing your Holy Radiance in the right area to gain maximum efficiency. Also, we have 3 healing cooldowns. We have our Guardian of Ancient Kings, which I like to think of as a Paladin's equivalent to a Tranquility or a Divine Hymn. We also have Divine Favour, which boosts our efficiency, assuming you have the 4 set, by about 20%. I'll use this when I'm going to be having to spam some really big spells to keep people up. Our final cooldown is Avenging Wrath. This is a very short cooldown on 2 minutes, increases our healing done by 20% for 20 seconds. This is a really nice cooldown, and to be honest, I keep this rolling every time, just to save a bit of mana and keep people topped off. I've put a link down in the description so you can see my advanced guide to Holy Paladins if you need to know anything about cooldown management or placing your Holy Radiance. That also covers some of my add-ons, so that should help you out as well there. Hopefully this guide has helped you and put you 1 or 2 steps further to solo healing your first boss. If you are going to solo heal, I definitely suggest starting off with bosses like Morchok normal, yor'sahj normal, then move on to harder fights such as Warmaster and Ultraxion normal, before trying the hardest ones, which are probably Spine and Madness of Deathwing normal.